Keep on this time. Heavy is the head. I see the boat throwing. I'm too full with it. I gotta keep going. Kobe with the wins. You niggas just Ginobili. You winning only cause of me. Let's keep the ball rolling. No disrespect, Slim. Where is your check, Slim? Welcome back to another episode of the You Weren't There podcast. I'm, of course, your host at Nia Was Here. We got a great show for you today. I'm going to let my brother Chaz introduce himself as my co-host. We're going to introduce our guest, and then we're going to get started, Chaz.
Yo, what's going on, family? It's Chaz DL. We're back with another great episode. We got two amazing guests with us, man. Welcome. I appreciate y'all for coming through.
Yeah. What up, world? For those who don't know, now you know. I go by the name of Dreamy Alpha, multifaceted artist. I do music such as rap, R&B, and Afro beats. You know, I Got You, Sierra Leone, Stand Up, Largo, Stand Up. I also do movies, music videos, and a lot of other things that are artistically creative. And that's about it, you know, in a nutshell.
What up, world? It's your boy LB 1990X from the Glenard. You know, I'm an artist, songwriter, engineer. And, you know, I'm just here to speak my truth and show love. You feel me?
Respect. So, Dreamy, I believe I'll start with you, right? To give us a little introduction, like, how did you begin on your journey as a creative? Where did it start? You know what I mean? Give us a backstory.
I always been a creative person. Ever since a kid, my mom used to give me like paper, like a blank sheet of paper when she was in school, and she would let me draw. You know what I'm saying? Give me a donut or whatever as she did her homework in class. So I was always that type of creative person. But as I grew older, it grew into various different types of art mediums, such as comic books. For a very long time, I drew and read comic books, still do to this day, actually, to be honest. And then maybe late elementary school into middle school, high school, I started picking up rap and doing little, you know, dumb musicals and little film stuff like with my family and friends. I was that guy. If they was banging at the lunch table, you know what I'm saying, I was in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? Anybody in Largo would tell you that was me. And then eventually I took it serious. One of my best friends, Sleepy, Dreamy Sleepy, he was like, "You trying to go to the studio?" Went to the studio. We started recording a whole bunch of music, and I was like, "Hey, you know, maybe this is good." But I still wasn't taking it serious. Boom, college came. Then I was like, okay, maybe I do want to take it serious because, you know, I realized everybody else took my music serious. So I said, okay, I'm gonna start. And then through all of that, started shooting music videos in order to shoot my own music videos, but, you know, shot for everybody else. Fat Trail, With a Rapper, Flock, 3 Black. A lot of them I shot for them. Some of them even their very first music videos. Let them tell it. And then I just, you know, maneuvered through all of that. Then eventually, you know, I did rap. I was still doing R&B and stuff. Got connected to my roots when I started going back to Sierra Leone. So I started making Afro beats. And then, that's kind of where I'm at today. Made multiple movies. In the middle of that, currently working on one right now called Street Ninja, The Dark Kingdom. And so I dabble in a lot of creative stuff. And that's, I guess, if I could wrap it and make it a quick summary instead of like talking all day, that's what I got for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's my dog right there.
Yeah, it's my what's up, bro? We, you know what I'm saying, we locked in. You know what I'm saying? It's cool.
Myself, it started. I played sports growing up, so I was always in football, running track. So at practice and stuff, I always used to be freestyling and stuff like that. And my brother-in-law now. At the time, he was my sister's boyfriend, but he was always rapping, and he used to come home and record music. And I was young. I was like in middle school, going into high school. I was like, I can do the same thing. Like I can rap too. I know how to put words together and stuff like that. So that's what inspired me. And then like when I got to understand how to record music, like one of my friends, when I got to the 9th grade, one of my friends, shout out to Marky P, he told me like how to be self-sufficient. He was the first person that had like Mixcraft and using the computer and using the like computer mics to record music and stuff like that. So that's how I got my introduction into like learning how to record myself. And that's why I fell in love with like the idea of making music, you know what I'm saying? And then I was still playing sports, like at Flowers. I went to Flowers High School. So like I fell in a little dilemma and to like, do I want to play sports or do I want to go hard with music? Because even growing up, my mother, my father, they put me on the music early, like Q-Tip, Busta Rhymes, all that, like Rakim. I was listening to break beats and shit like that since I was young, you know what I mean? So like that would inspire me to want to go ahead and try rapping, because, you know, Tupac, Biggie, back then, that 50 Cent, all of them, they was like my, you know what I mean, like my upbringing of like hip hop, you know what I'm saying? So when I got the opportunity to learn how to record myself and do music, I fell in love with it. I used to skip school to go to the studio in Virginia. Like that's how bad it was, you know what I mean? Then like I realized that I loved it, you know what I'm saying? My 12th grade year, we ended up doing a talent show. We ended up winning it and getting on the radio. And that's when it was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing this. And then I moved to Florida. I went to Full Sail. And then so I was in from like 2011 to like 2018. I was in Florida, just like learning the idea of music, like recording in the studio, learning how to make albums and things like that. That's why like now I'm so good at building albums, because I was doing all my development in like Florida, and you know what I'm saying? And then from there, I knew I was all in. Like I was all in. I ended up even dropping out of Full Sail just to go full-fledged with music, and I betted on myself, and I felt like I did the right decision, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? So that's why I'm even making music to this day. So,
that's deep. Yeah. That's deep. And I think both of y'all said something that I find to be interesting, right? Because not everybody's fortunate enough to go to school, right? And I think we've talked in previous shows about the concept of like building your fan base while you're in school,
for sure,
right? And that's not an opportunity that enough people take advantage of. Some of it is just because like you're not aware of your talent or how serious you're gonna take
for
it.
Sure.
And so you don't take advantage of the fact that your core fan base is like taking classes.
Yeah.
Like, seeing that y'all did go to school, y'all did have the opportunity to kind of have that experience. How much advantage did you take of the fact that your core audience was like sitting in classrooms with you?
So, you want to go first? You want me to go first? I say, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I like envy you, because like in high school, like people was rooting me on. Like, you know, I was rapping at the tables and stuff, but I ain't take it serious. And maybe you could even explain more, elaborate more, but my support group, you know what I'm saying, at the time, you know what I'm saying, my parents was West Africans, you know what I'm saying, so they like, oh, you need to go up and be a doctor, you need to be an accountant, an architect. Very big. I'm like, I want to do art, and they're like, oh, he's gonna be broke, you know what I'm saying, like, so me trying to explain that to him, it was like I was always kind of on the fence about it for a long time, for real, but it was something that I could never run away from. Like, I just kept coming back to music. I kept making another album. I kept going to the studio making 6 songs. So by the time college came, it was a realization that it was like, man, all right, screw what my parents say. Like, I was still in school, so I respected what my parents was doing for me at the time. So I was like, I'm gonna lock in school, get the network up, do the music. But yeah, I wish I would have started back in high school, because I feel like people was telling me like they ought to buy your album right now. I was like, oh, that's nice, but I never really like took no advantage of it like whatsoever in high school. I just thought it was cool to rap at the rap table and stuff like that. I didn't, you know, but I wish I'd have did, because you like, you know what I'm saying, you make a living off it, you know what I'm saying, boy, really locked in. Like, shout out to my boy. So, like you know, yeah.
Came from like a school that is like functioning based on that.
I mean, honestly, it was like a gift and a curse, because like back then, think about it, like I came up in the era of like go-go, you know what I'm saying? So like the niggas who was rapping, like the Airport Tones, the Full Cast is like, y'all.
You used to watch the Roosevelt? You used to watch the Roosevelt freestyle?
I'm a student of the DMV rap scene. Like, that's because I understood what it was coming up. Like, we was trying to bridge that gap of understanding like go-go and rap. And people were still understanding like go-go is our sound. So me coming through, it was cool. Like, my friends, like, that's why I understood the where my fan base was, because community is key always. It starts with the people you around, you see every day. And I realized I'm with the Flowers, right? So I'm in school with like 1,100 people. So, all right, I got 1,100 people to let niggas know that I make music. How can I do that? Hey, yo, I rap. Doing the same shit. Like, I was rapping in the locker rooms. I was rapping at the lunch tables. I was doing that, but I had to understand this too. Like, all right, cool. Niggas see me as a guy who do sports. Now I got to make sure that they understand that I do this shit every day. So yeah, I was getting the support, but I also was getting you should stick to playing football. You should stick to running track because they didn't see what it is now. You know what I'm saying? But as I still went along, thank God to social media as well too, and us growing up in the state of mind of using social media, we understood how to tap in and show people what we doing. And by the fact of me understanding this, like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm a rapper. I want to make music. I want to do this, but I got to show people that I'm serious. Ain't nobody going to take me serious if I don't take myself serious. So I had to change my whole mind state with that as well, too, because outside of being LB 1990X, people know me as TJ. And TJ from Glennon. He played football. He ran track. He did this, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I had to get him out of that mind state and understand, nah, this is my brand, LB 1990X. And once people start seeing that I was consistent with it, and that's the main key, to be consistent. You had to just, even when people are not listening to you, even when your friends, because even some of my real friends to this day don't listen to my music, but it's okay. But at the same time, I had to still be consistent, but they respect the fact that I am an artist. They know that I'm an artist because they see that every chance I get to make sure I can put something out, I'm being consistent with it. And that's what got me to this point, you know what I mean? Because my community seen that it's like, all right, cool. He a guy that's going to continue to make music. He going to do it at a high quality, and he's going to make sure that he's doing it because he's serious about it. So
respect. And I think both of y'all raised a key point as far as like the reception of your parents, right? So you're an athlete. Your parents want you to stick with that. But obviously, like, you know, some parents understand that you have dreams. I know African parents ain't really with that. So I do want to get like kind of the reception of your parents and how you feel like that impacted your path. And I want to start with you, Dreamy Alpha, because I know that like that road specifically as an African is a little more difficult. I think that like American parents, Black American parents or otherwise, I think that there's a point at which they'll give you some leeway. Or that they'll at least make room for the fact that like there are your dreams that fund your life, and then there are the dreams that you're just passionate about that don't necessarily have to make you money. I feel like there's more of a pressing of the cultures for those passions, for those dreams to be lucrative, right?
For sure.
So like when you started, kind of like what was the immediate reception of your parents, and kind of like what's the reception based on like where you are right now?
I think also going back to kind of like what LB was saying too, it was like a combination of things. So my parents wasn't necessarily, they wasn't like I couldn't do music, but it was just like they just saw, oh, it's just a fun thing. You can still do it, but make sure you know you do your schoolwork and all this and that. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever you want. It was cool, like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't think, but then maybe I want to say towards the end of college or after college, like it was like it was two different things, because my mother, she was more so, she came from a house of doctors. My grandparents like went to school like in Dubai, a bunch of different places, London, this and that. They was educated, built hospitals in Sierra Leone to this day. So she come from people of education and things of that. My father is kind of more, a lot more laid back and cool. He was actually the one who really used to listen to I listened to Jay-Z albums with Fabulous albums. So he was cool with it, but my father wasn't necessarily involved in that capacity. Like he was like, yeah, you could do whatever you want to do, but he wasn't like a dadager. Like, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna put you in all this stuff. Like he was like, you could do it, you know? So it was like, it was all up to me to make it happen. And then in the same respect, like I said, when I started, I was just doing rapping, a little bit of singing, and then eventually it got to some more singing. And then it finally progressed into like doing more. So I think when I really got some traction is probably when I started doing a lot more melodic rap into the Afro beat scene for real. And for me, I think what really made me take off when I started making like 500,000 views on some things, like, and it was when I really just took on Afro beats a lot more head on and serious. And I think it's because I actually was tapping into who my actual demographic was. Because I was surrounded by, you know what I'm saying, I grew up in Largo. I went to Largo High School, Kettering Middle School, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up in them environments where it's all neighborhoods beefing with each other. So that's what I'm seeing. But on the weekends when we go into family functions, it's just the cousins, Sierra Leoneans partying, having it up. But it took me a long time to even realize like I need to tap into my actual core community. Like it's not that I ain't got homies in Largo or this and that, but they wasn't my real big support group, because you know what I'm saying, people knew me like, you know, oh, okay, yeah, Alpha, he could fight, he ain't in the hood, he not in the streets, he not doing all of this, doing that, you know what I'm saying, he not all about that. So I ain't really have that type of street cred to really try back no gangster rap song, and I'm not a gangster rapper, for, you know what I'm saying. So it was like, you know, that's kind of like how, you know what I'm saying, LB a little different, you feel me? He grew up with guys, you know what I'm saying? He grew up a little, you know what I'm saying? You know, he probably made a little bit more mistakes, you know, in that realm than I did, you know what I'm saying? So it was like I had to stick to what I, you know what I'm saying, was comfortable with. And once I started like blowing up, making it to like articles like on Billboard, or I was like on the Hot 100 or something at one point. Then, you know, people hitting my mother up like, yo, you know, your son's and she was like, oh, snap, hey, you're trying to do a concert at, you know, I'm like, oh, what you asking me this? So it took them a while to really believe, like years, like over a decade. But but we got there. Yeah, we got there. Yeah.
That should be like that, because I ain't gonna lie, my mother, God rest her soul, rest in peace, Lulu. You know what I'm saying?
R.I.P.
She was like, no matter what I wanted to do, she was gonna have my back. But she was one of those parents like, you're a man, you gotta be out here making sure you getting paid for what you doing.
For sure.
And back then, when I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna rap, I'm gonna do all this, she was like, oh, that's cool and all, but make sure you get, you know, you hustling. Make sure you know what I'm saying. My stepfather, God rest his soul too, you know what I'm saying, Big Mo, he always told me, like, whatever you do, I don't care what it is, make sure you got a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you got a plan. Like, I don't care if you cutting grass, make sure you plan on how you gonna do what the fuck you want to do. And that, he put that in my head. So it's like, when I was doing it as a hobby, and like, if they was all about it until they saw that I was dead ass serious about it, until I started had to spend money on this shit, until they saw like, all right, cool. And then that's when they gave me those, all right, bruh, like, you going, what you want to do, like, you getting to your point where you either gotta be a man and do what you have to do, or do what you need to do. You know, do what you want to do, or do what you need to do. And I chose, I'm hard headed in a sense, in a little bit. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna take this chance on me. I don't care what y'all saying, how y'all feel about it. If I'm gonna take a chance, because I love this shit. I'm passionate about it. Like, I'm willing to move to Florida, away from y'all that's damn near 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm passionate about this. And even back then they was supportive, but they was still like, all right, bro, you gotta make money. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to, you know what I'm saying, like, balance the two. You still want to be out here living out your dreams, but you still gotta understand there's another side to it called reality.
Right.
And I used to always get mad, because I'm like, man, I won't make it. I'm da-da-da-da. No, man, y'all don't believe it. I thought it was that, but real life, I had to understand this. Your peoples, they gonna show you they love you. That who you want to be in life, that's your own goal. But they care about, are you gonna be able to live? You know what I mean? And I understand it now, because they gone. But like, I remember the day when I got signed. Like, I told my mother, I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go to LA. She was like, yeah, all right, cool. She was washing dishes. I swear to God, she was washing dishes. And I was like, yeah, Mom, I'm about to go to LA. I just got on the phone with this label. They want to fuck with me. She's like, yeah, all right, that's cool. Cool. Boom. Left that the next week. Came back. Cool. Came back. They realized. Came back. They came out to DC to come see me. They met my mother and all that. And that's when she realized, like, oh, nah, this nigga,
he for real.
Serious. He doing this shit. And like, I remember the day, because I remember one time me and we was going through that period of like, she's like, nigga, you need to get a job. Like, this rap shit, like, not working. You need to get a job. I remember that. And I got so mad. I'm like, man, fuck that. Like, nah, I'm gonna go harder. And then ended up getting signed. And then I remember she said, I'm proud of you. Like, that's when I knew. And that was in 2019. And I've been doing music way longer than that. Yeah. So for you to be able to like get that support from your family, it's like they gonna support you. But I felt like it was more like they want to make sure that was good, because now they gone, and now I'm a beast with this music. Like, my business is impeccable. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to music, the creative side, that's impeccable. You know what I mean? But I had to learn the business, and I say that to any artist out here, if y'all want to do this shit, like what we do independently, all time. Learn the business. Like,
that's what we really want to get into, right? Because we have consistently we have this conversation on this show
Yeah.
about, and I think a lot of the artists that we've had on here are independent, right? So I think it's gonna be really like something I'm looking forward to have a conversation with a major label artist, right? But Dream Me Out for you still independent, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
100. So we want to have that conversation with those two varying perspectives. Right? So something that we talk about frequently and often is the concept of understanding how to monetize, right? And of understanding that it's hard to make money in music, especially now, right? Harder than it's ever been because the industry makes it so, right? So soon as possible, you need to figure out like what the product is that your music is really selling, right? You need to understand that the music is the commercial for whatever the real product is. So, you know, being that we do have a major label artist and then also somebody who's independent who's been able to monetize it though, right? And been able to be successful at it. There's a couple of questions I want to start with. The first one is like, what were like the early lessons that you like really learned as far as like, this is how I can transition this music into money? And then now that you have like more experience in those arenas, what are the things that like you sort of like live by now, whether those are part of those early lessons or not, that really like keep you consistent in terms of like being able to keep your bills paid?
Damn.
We're gonna start with you, LB.
Shoot, the early lessons I learned, honestly, know your value. You know what I'm saying? Like, no funny shit. Like, even independently, like you doing what you had to do to a point that a label want to even have interest in you. Know your value. Know what you stand on. Know your morals. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, even going through my first negotiation, I was green. You know what I mean? I felt like I ain't want to ask for too much. I ain't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? Because I ain't want them to run away or, you know what I mean? Because
that's when that hit song came out, right? That you had that one hit record.
I didn't realize the value of understanding, like, all right, nigga, no is powerful. You know what I mean? And if you know your purpose, again, like my stepfather said, if you know your plan, then if you can say no to something and get something better, then yeah, do that. But honestly, I had to learn my value, and I'm thankful for the people that was around me because they taught me those lessons of like understanding what you want and what you need. Because independently as an artist, I say this, any artist out there, independently, you got the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want to do. And I love that power, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you sign, it's also, it's about what you need. And if you need a machine behind you to get to where you need to go so you can be able to jumpstart your own self, then that's cool. But I say along the way, just learn, because that's what I had to do. I had to learn who I was throughout that whole process in the beginning, because I was just doing shit before all of this. Like before getting signed, I was just doing what I liked, doing my interests, doing what I felt was cool to me and my people in my community around me. And then people piqued interest, and I'm like, all right, cool. I need this opportunity, but maybe I shouldn't ask for too much, or you know what I mean? But I had to learn my value. That's the most important thing I learned early in that. You know what I'm saying? Getting to the point of getting signed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, if we talking value, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And even like the value that doesn't include money,
Facts.
but maybe more so your time.
Facts.
One thing that like I could say like through the years that I would say I wish I learned earlier on is the real concept of alignment. And I think, how could I say this? I feel like I was always, and I still am for real, like I'm always somebody who got big ideas or more ideas or what I want to do or what I want to accomplish and stuff like that. And I felt like, not that everybody else didn't want to accomplish things around me, but we didn't necessarily all have the same goals. You know what I'm saying? And when you really trying to become successful, especially in music, you got to have a team that's completely dedicated to what like you trying to get completely done. Because like if you don't, you'll realize a lot of things are not getting done because this person is over here doing this and this person's over here doing that. So you gotta
Saint Lunatics, but you better understand who Nelly is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so hey, talk about it. Not for real. So it's like I'm not trying to sit there and say like, yeah, it should, like I have a big ego or it should be me, but I'm saying like in terms of I'm a team player. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll do whatever the team need. I'll fall in the background and be behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? But when we talking about specifically trying to get me and the Dreamy Alpha brand out there, I had to realize that if I want these types of things for myself and to grow, I was going to have to like have a team that was prioritizing what I needed done, you know what I'm saying, in order to grow. People who would figure things out when I don't have the time to figure things out. People who could allow me to live in my creative space while they do the administrative work and the paperwork that I ain't really got to, oh, hey, he might send me an email, yeah, sign this and that, but I ain't really got to think about it, you know what I'm saying? They already read it and was like, yeah, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? That's something that I would say I wish I knew like earlier on. And also maybe this was an ego thing, but I don't think I valued networking as much as I do now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you trying to excel and be like, you know what I'm saying, especially if you're an independent artist that don't have a necessarily label or platform, if you not in a label, you better bring yourself around some people who is in a label. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to absorb as much information as you can. You got to see what they was doing. Luckily, I was blessed like a brother like LB, you know what I'm saying, to allow me in his space. We first started off just doing a song with each other. We just been locked in ever since. That was like maybe when you first got signed for real. Or, yeah, like, and he, you know, let me feature on the hook. I was like, hey, he's signed, you know what I'm saying? And I told my man, I was like, hey, he got millions. Hey, you know, I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was just excited, you know what I'm saying? That's how me and LB really linked up, you know what I'm saying? So, and then he allowed me, we just started, you know what I'm saying, recording more music, and he allowed me to see, especially like with everyone knows, Jake, shout out Vault, you know what I'm saying? All of them started allowing me to see certain aspects. So I go to this party or this event, and I really just started going to like align and network with things that I would do. And I always told myself I need to figure out how to make this into a W right now. Even if I'm in a situation where I feel like an L, what can I walk away with that will make this a W? Like one time I went to like this label meeting with like Empire, right? They like African label or whatnot. I didn't even know that until that day. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I got invited from another DJ like, yo, you need to be there.
Right.
And so I went there like, okay, Empire gonna be there. But mind you, I'm independent. I'm not really looking to be signed or nothing like that. But I go in there because I'm like, you know, if the opportunity is right, why not get signed? You know what I'm saying? If the money, if everything looking right, why not? You know, why not do it? But so I went out there to network, and no shade, but you know what I'm saying, the people who was running the record label really didn't want to hear anything I wanted to do. Like they was like, oh no, please don't, no, no. I'm here. I'm here for the DJs. And it was actually a mixer for all the DJs to hear all the upcoming artists on their label, you know what I'm saying? All, you know, a lot of good artists that y'all know to this day. I ain't going to, you know, speak too much on who it was and this and that. Yeah. But, you know what I'm saying, they wasn't necessarily there to hear new artists. And so I was in the room angry at the moment, like, dang, I just came out here wasting my time. But then I realized, wait, a label found it important enough for their CEO executives to sit here with 30 DJs from this area to get them to listen to their music. So I was like, screw him. I'm getting all these DJs numbers. You know what I'm saying? It got all, and ever since then, they started inviting me out to the clubs. They started letting me host certain things. So, you know what I'm saying? You always got to try to figure out, all right, you know, if you can't do something, then what can I do? In the meantime, you know what I'm saying? Don't just take the whole L, like, and just don't keep getting stomped out. Get up at some point and fight back. You know what I'm saying? So,
I think it's important too, like what you said about like doing everything, finding the people to be your manager, I think it's important for every artist to learn those roles. They got to go through it first. You can't manage nothing that you don't know how to manage yourself. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, you still the artist, but you still are the CEO. You are the master of that product. You feel me? Or your brand. You feel me? And I feel like a lot of artists need to go through that development, and like what we all have to go through, learning the network, learning to make mistakes, but make positive mistakes. Because again, some people use a L and they done. instead of turning into a
Yeah.
a W. So I feel like that is important.
So that's deep because you keyword you said was your, right? So in the beginning, as an artist, it's me because you're saying your. So a team is never going to see your vision completely. But as you learn these different roles, as you know how to manage a role, you have to hold the camera sometimes yourself. You learn these roles. Now the goal don't even become yours no more. Now you see the bigger picture. This is the championship. Now the team, when you put the team together, it starts to make more sense because the goal is different than just my goal. Like you know what I'm saying? Because now my brand is not about my brand no more. It's about getting to this bag and setting up this empire. So now, as a former manager, I can see the picture now.
And I think that's something that a lot of artists miss, especially new artists, right?
That's a fact.
And I mean, I speak very often because I remember sitting in the meetings, right? And I think like, and I tell the story all the time, not to get too deep into it, but I started doing music and then I realized like, oh no, I could make a lot more money doing voiceovers, cartoons, commercials, right? And so I moved into that quickly. Like, I was like, oh no, this is where the money is. So,
Sweet money.
Sweet money. You know what I'm saying? Hour, 5,000 hour for work.
Feel me?
So like, you write it, you get royalties, and now you get a check every year. I get a check every Christmas from BBS. So I think when I look at artistry, right? You said a key point that I never understood or didn't understand until too late, which is networking, right? But I think another point that we raised is like understanding your role in a team, right? So when we talk about your role in a team, I think a lot of artists who get an opportunity at a major label or who get an opportunity at a placement, who get an opportunity at like these very large opportunities presented to them, don't understand the importance of knowing what you sign. Having people around you who understand that paperwork, who understand that legalese, right? And I often tell artists, right, before you sign anything, get a lawyer to review it, and get a music lawyer, not an entertainment lawyer who may specialize in television or film. You need a music lawyer who understands that legalese. When you look at kind of like your journey, right, because you all have had big placements, major Billboard placements, right? How important was representation, or at least having people who understood the legalese around you in terms of like pushing that journey forward?
Oh, this shit is everything. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I don't care what contract, how big it is, how small it is. Like what you said, get yourself a lawyer that specializes in music, who been around the industry, who have done deals in the industry. And the reason why, because they know what's the standard. They know what we don't understand. Like, I don't care all day. I can rap all day. I can put words together all day. But contracts, that's sometimes this shit is foreign language to me. And it don't matter how much money they put on the table, how much, it's always loopholes, there's always clauses in there that you don't see, that is lawyer talk or judiciary talk or whatever. And you don't understand that a lawyer can look at it and be like, nah, this not it. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what nobody say, lawyers can be whatever, they money hungry or whatever, but if they see that you about to make some money, they're gonna make sure you get the best money. You know what I'm saying? So it's still work in your benefit. So it's like, I don't care what no artist say. I don't get a lawyer. Learn the music business in that sense. Get a lawyer. If you don't know, ask those questions. Pay that $500 for that consult. You know what I'm saying? If you getting these deals, if niggas promise you millions of dollars, whatever, make sure that you better know that shit come with something. You feel me? And you got to have somebody that, you know what I mean, to teach you that.
And I think too, like the other point we want to mention is like, it's not enough to make a big bag real early. Like a lot of these contracts exist in perpetuity.
That's a fact.
And perpetuity means forever.
Fact.
So, you know, it's a lot of artists that signed away their rights and royalties, not understanding. I remember I was watching the documentary on Sly and the Family Stone. Right? And so Sly got that big song, I am every day. Had a manager who didn't understand sync licensing. And so his manager, when he was, you know, he had a phase where he, you know, had a real bad drug addiction. He got this manager who didn't understand contracts, who didn't understand the concept of perpetuity, who didn't understand publishing rights or sync licensing. And she signed away the rights to that. So you hear that song in every car commercial, you hear it in every movie, with white people dancing around, and he has no rights to that music whatsoever. That song is from 40 years ago, still making money, and ain't nobody getting paid for from that shit but the label.
That's
Because he had a lawyer reviewing contracts who did not understand sync licensing, right? So I think it's important not to just like, I tell y'all this all the time. See, this is why I want y'all on here, man, because I have this conversation with you niggas every week, and y'all think I'm just.
He said every week.
Every week, I'm trying to tell you.
Man, they about to give me a 1.5. I'm gonna be straight. I'm just going, you know what I'm saying? Fuck all that. Get you a lawyer.
Yeah,
and if you're real smart, you can get. It's called quid pro quo. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, if you really do it right, you can get a lawyer. If they know you about to get that bread, you ain't got to pay that shit up front because they know they about to get that shit on the back end. So if you tight like you say you tight, man, you better go ahead, get your lawyer, check in, do what you need to do so you can really understand your deals. And then I think even in the DMV, I think that will help a lot of artists in the DMV understand how the music business works. We ain't making music no more. We in the music business. You know what I'm saying?
You better tell them. You better tell them. Yeah, I think like that's what I understand. Because the thing about music, right, is you don't necessarily have to make money off them songs right now. It's songs that don't hit for a decade. And then they, in one movie, in one television show, people jam the shit or whatever. And now all of a sudden, the shit done got 10 billion listens. And you didn't get no part of that because your paperwork was bullshit from a decade ago.
Nah, for real.
Still owns all of it.
Nah,
like,
for real.
Think like these labels, they've been around for like 100 years. No, like you talking about Sam Cooke and them back in the 30s and 40s.
That's why they ain't like Sam Cooke. He was smart. He got his publishing.
Started that publishing and was starting a publishing firm for other artists to get the rights to their publishing. And then right around that time, he had an issue with this woman. So that's why I'm telling you, like, and Chaz, you know, Chaz is a little bit of a conspiracy theory.
No, man, no, I mean, because you know, I've been in it. You know, you know, I have history with LB, and shout out to him, but I've been in it, so I seen it behind the scenes and how it goes. So really, but that's another story. But my question was about to be though, is it a twist though as an artist? Because I always ask artists, do you want fame or money? I mean, or you know, but the thing is with the artist, what is it about being an artist that make you want just the fame or sometimes the validation, the applause, you know, because you want people to love your art that you create and you don't think about the business part. So,
I'm gonna be honest. I think for me, that's when it all changed. When I really just told myself, hey, just have some fun, dog. Like when I stopped really caring, like, all right, you know, I can be this, you know, so whenever I just stopped caring and was like, hey, I just really want to create like a real impact, and like, you know, create real impact and change in the world, or just want to drop something just because I'm having fun and having a good time. That's actually when I started dropping that without the pressures of thinking of like, you know what I'm saying, oh, this gotta blow me up, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, I'm gonna drop this and hey, if people like it, they like it. If they don't, I'm still gonna shoot, I'm still gonna have some fun. So I think that's really actually when it changed for me. Like, I don't know, I feel like I started getting more interviews, more shows, everything started changing. Like maybe that year, like I just was like, let's just start having some fun. Like I even got a story like in terms of like lawyers and stuff. So you know, we kind of like started like our own independent label and stuff. So we'd I think also like even if you don't have like a music lawyer, I think the key thing is having someone who truly cares about you or who's really invested in you know what I'm saying? Luckily, I had a management team who had lawyers who weren't music lawyers, but they were good lawyers and good friends to people on my management team. So I got offered a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say a lot, I ain't trying to slice it, but I got offered a few things, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of things sound like, oh, I've been offered a few things, you feel what I'm saying?
After you said, all right, you know, I'm just doing this for the, you know, for the love, was that before or after the fun part?
Which
when
part?
You started getting that on your team, like the lawyer who actually loved.
That was like right before. Like that was like I was still trying to. What I was trying to do is I understood that like there was two pieces I needed to have in order for you to be that creative artist that's like doing things to the full extent of your ability. You need to have a team that allows you to sit around and go do all this other BS and just have fun. Like, you know what I'm saying?
To give you free.
You feel, especially if you're independent, you have nobody telling you no, you can't do that. Yes,
that's why I asked before, because as a team, when you have a team, right? And you can paint the picture to where we all can feel like we have value. And I'm helping you out of love. Because, you know, I love what you stand for, but I love the goal that we set for.
Absolutely.
But if you're going in just solely about what you see, then that's when you get these sharks coming at you, because I could blow it, make you famous.
Yeah.
I don't have love for him for real. I just want what this man could potentially do for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked it was before or after.
Yeah.
That shit, my bad.
You good. What you gonna say, brother?
It's like, it's important because like you gotta find people like that love what they do as much as you love what you do. And you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I say you gotta find people that believe in that goal, because like
and got your best interest, got your that best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying?
They gotta love you, but they gotta love what you're doing, and they gotta believe in your dream as well. Because at the same time, it's like, man, you can find your friends to be your managers, the people to help you, all that, and they may have ulterior motives, they may have different ideas. At the same time, you gotta find those people. Like my friends, like my real friends, like that I came up with, they don't do nothing with music. They are my friends, you know what I'm saying? But like my dogs and like who became like my brothers and stuff like that, I learned that doing music. That's why like my team, like shout out to my guys right there, you know what I mean? Like the people y'all don't see, they are my friends, but they also believe in what we got going on so much that they are willing to put the time and the effort and their name. You know what I'm saying? That's important. You know what I mean? All we got is our name out here, right? You know,
for sure.
Our integrity. And I feel like once you find people as a artist that really believe in your team, like believe in your dream, a good team, the right team is what you need. You know what I mean? Niggas can be good all day. The right team, the right people that care about you, that's gonna be there. Because niggas know, artists know, she said it, you don't make no fucking money in this motherfucking music industry. Off of streams and stuff like that. Like niggas get, I'm telling you, like niggas get signed, they get that advance, and then all that shit else is called a budget. And it's all recoupable.
All of it's recoupable.
So it's like
you got to pay that shit back. That advance is built into that recoupable budget.
So when that shit start happening, and you got your homeboy down the street, and your mans that, you know what I'm saying, that now they want to be a manager, now they start understanding, oh, now I can make bread, I can do this, now we got money, now we got capital. Now, what can y'all do with this? Because the label's gonna give y'all the bread. What y'all do with it is what y'all do with it. And if you don't have people on your team that care, like, all right, cool, this is what I need to do, this is how I need to do it, then it's not gonna work.
Oh, and to touch on that, bro, also once you get that, like once you get to that certain level, you gotta kind of fortify what you got going on, because people start scrambling to try to get a piece of like what you got going on in that instance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, I was talking about like I had lawyers review certain offers and stuff like that. So I came across a good distribution deal, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, after that, something crazy. How I woke up one morning, my man was like, "Bruh, T-Pain been putting you on." And I was like, "What are you talking about, T-Pain?" He's like, "Yeah, how you know T-Pain?" I was like, "I don't know T-Pain." And then he was like, "Well, why he playing your music?" And he tweeted your joint. Like, I was like, "He did what?" So I look online, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this had to be a fake T-Pain page. So I'm looking at it, this is the real T-Pain. So I was confused. I called my man, like, what happened? He's like, nah, you was on Twitch. He played your music video. He went crazy. Da, 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 da. I had the distribution situation going on. So everybody caught wind of it. And before I knew it, it was like in the top 100s. And you know what I'm saying? It was, you feel me? And it made a lot of streams, obviously, and all that good stuff. People was buying my album at the time. And then I quickly figured out, like, people calling me who never call you, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, bruh, I've been trying to work with you, you know what's going on? What's going on your side?
One last gem I want to give to artists, right? Look at, when you talk about building teams, look at the people around you and see their gifts and talents. They're the stars too. So like, he says no money in the game, but if I know this man, he shoot film, right? He's a star in my eyes too, because my music can drive him to producing a film or whatever, and then he could plug my music into the movie that he's filming.
Mhm.
This manager right here, he's excellent at business. He's a star at that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So you have to be a scout as an artist too. Right?
Yeah.
So just want that's gem too.
You gotta be able to sift through things like quick and make like quick decisions and like judge. I don't want to say judge people, but you gotta understand who people are quick and whether. Yeah, because like sometimes you get in the mix with business with people like you probably should have no business dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But like you gotta also do that. You gotta figure out the people who really serious about what they do too, because some people want to do music, but they don't necessarily got the same drive and ambition as you. You don't see them at every networking event. You don't run into them at the studio. You don't. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start, you gotta start really aligning with people who you, even if they not even necessarily is popping or whatever, that don't really matter. But if you see them showing up at every event and you like, okay, this guy is serious enough to at least be doing this, them the people you really want to try to align with and really get a pulse of who they are. Even if you don't work with them, you might learn some information. You might receive, you know what I'm saying? You might just become wiser just from dealing in them type of, you know what I'm saying, situations. So yeah, just be able to sift through those. Sometimes you be like, oh, nah, it's not even somebody I'm trying to work with. You know what I'm saying? Like you get a lot of them type of people too. Like, you know, so whether you acknowledge it or not, so something in your heart just be like, nah, that's not it. So yeah, that
like artists taking your craft seriously, right? When you look at the point at which like you were 100% serious to now, how long do you feel like it took you to assemble like the team that you felt like got you to where you are to this point?
Oh shit. I mean, I feel like I ain't at 100% yet. You know what I'm saying? I feel like every day I'm still gaining that, you know what I mean? Like knowing like, all right, I'm that guy. You know what I mean? Of course in my mind I know I'm good. I'm great at what I do, but like knowing like my strengths and my weaknesses, I'm still developing my team, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's still people around me I haven't got the opportunity to work with. I'm still working on myself as a person, you know what I mean, as a man. As an artist, I'm still understanding who I am and what I want, you know what I mean, as a brand and as a business. So I feel like I'm still developing that, but I feel like my core base is the people, like he said, the people that care about me. And honestly, like the people, they don't like the most important thing I had to learn too doing this was not taking shit personal. You know what I'm saying? Like
taking your ego out of it is like sometimes the hardest.
Ego is a motherfucker, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I know sometimes like we be up here, we be laid back, but as artists, this shit is hard because we do want to be heard. We do want to be the best. We do want to sit out there and let people understand that we are good at what we do. So that do come with a sense of awareness of who you are. So I felt like where I'm at now is learning like, all right, cool. Like even if I work with somebody and it didn't work, not to take that shit personal, keep on moving forward, evolving. So it's like, that's where I'm at with it. I feel like it took me, I've been doing music for like 15 plus years now. So it's like, I'm still developing, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And I feel like it's an everyday progress. So yeah, we still doing it. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
And you know, and I love this conversation, by the way, man.
That's right.
But I do want to double back a little bit, right? So I know you weren't athlete in high school, right? We got to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero,
for sure.
Devin Haney, bum ass Ramirez, fought last night, right? We gotta say it, man, because the truth is like that. Ramirez was a tune-up fight, right?
Yeah.
Devin got his ass whooped in a way that I have never quite seen, except for maybe Earl and Bud.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, a whooping of epic proportion, right? So this was more of a tune-up fight, right? Restore his confidence, get him back in there, shake off the dust, whatever, right? So Devin wins his fight. You know, Devin Pillow Haney. Shout out to him.
Why y'all be saying why do people do this? Why do people do that to boxers like Pillow Hand? What is that about?
If he fighting me, then yeah. Like, but Devin's knockout ability to me, and this is my whole thing as a fan, right? Your ability to knock people out consistently really comes down to mechanics. It's also the health of your hands, right? But it comes down to mechanics and technique. I think that Devin's father being his primary trainer has been like the biggest part of like why he doesn't have the power right? People think that power comes from like just strength of hands, and that's ridiculous. It really comes from like technical.
Yeah, switching your hips, form, technique, leg, yeah.
So I think that because Devin doesn't have the greatest mechanics, that's the reason why he also doesn't have the greatest power. That's conversely one of the reasons why, and I know I know how you feel about this, but you know what I'm going to say.
Go ahead.
It's also a big part of the reason why Tank is a knockout artist, because he has like better mechanics than everybody else. He's a technically sound fighter, and I think a lot of people don't get to see that about Tank because he's consistently knocking motherfuckers out. But it's the
nah. If you a real like, I don't want to say a real fighter or whatever, but if you ever operated in that realm or world for real, you get a completely different understanding for pro boxers and things like in ways that other people don't. For example, like I grew up doing like a lot of martial arts for real. My brother's a pro kickboxer and stuff, so we, sparred a bunch of times. I've been in a room where like we sparring, like it's 20, 30 people in the room and the bell ring and you go to the next guy and we slugging it, you know what I'm saying? So I've definitely been in all them situations to understand. And what I think people don't understand is, like you could try to say somebody got pillow hands for real, but like you could go see this same person spar against somebody and see him drop like 3-4 people, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when them lights come on and like they in the center of the ring, sometimes nerves get you. Like I've seen it all change. I've seen people knock out like, you feel what I mean? But you gotta think though, at the same time, Devin Haney, I'm not sitting there. I don't think he's the best fighter, but the competition that he's going up against at the same time, like before he went against Lomachenko, you know what I'm saying? Like these are high level skilled boxers, you know what I'm saying? Like these are
arguably well past his prime, but okay.
But Lomachenko ain't really lost nothing. Yeah. Like
Lomachenko ain't no joke.
Nah, he ain't.
Lomachenko really.
But there's a difference.
Yeah.
Though. You know,
it's a difference, but it's also that element like when this person got a high level of IQ and fighting, sure. And then it's also styles as well. Like fighter A could beat fighter B, but fighter A can't beat fighter C, even though fighter C could beat fighter A.
I think the Ryan fight is a great example.
Yeah.
Now I ain't gonna lie. Ryan might have been on them PEDs after highlight.
I ain't gonna lie.
Last night. I mean, don't get me wrong. Even Tank said, like, no, Rolly the hardest hitting nigga that he ever fought.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the nigga got bricks in his hand.
Yeah.
So I knew going into that fight that it was going to be a challenge. Even though Ryan was like, I'll probably knock him out between the second and third. I knew it wasn't going to go like that.
Yeah.
Styles do make fights.
Yeah.
And I know that Rolly is a hard-hitting motherfucker. And I knew that he had fought enough against Ryan in the amateurs to know how to counter the left. And I knew that if he hit him hard enough to knock him down one time, which happened, and he was able to counter the left, it was going to neutralize Ryan. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, right, I knew that was going to be a good one. But I felt like Ryan really like looked at Rolly as a stepping stone, so he didn't study Rolly in the way that he needed to figure out how to neutralize the power.
I think
Tank was able.
I think on his that left hook.
I think Rolly is.
It's been working.
He an awkward fighter though. Yeah, like if you ever see Rolly, like he doesn't like, and if you like, you know what I'm saying, you've been in the gym and spar, like you know what I'm saying. If somebody got like a certain rhythm in a way where they can catch you off a certain beat. Like they might take a half step back, come back in and and catch you like in a rhythm that you wasn't. That's how Rolly for real fight.
And that's why I didn't believe what everybody was saying about that. I'm like, man, y'all really underestimating Rolly. That's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, it's like everybody underestimated a lot of people. Like people underestimated Lamont Roach against Tank.
Shout out to the no excuse.
And the funny thing is, for years I've been a Tank fan. I've always been like, but when he was fighting against Lamont, before he was fighting Lamont Roach, people was like, yeah, he gonna knock him out too. And I was like, I don't think it's gonna be a piece of cake. The
Lamont Roach fight was gonna be a good fight.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna help as a former Tank sexual. Ain't no, I thought he was gonna knock that boy out.
Nah.
I ain't gonna lie, but. He made a believer out of me.
I ain't gonna say
it's gonna be a good one. Yeah, but I thought like about a 9th round. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, I really, because you watch these, you know what I'm saying, film on these fighters and stuff like that, and you hear about these people. Even though, again, I'm not knee deep in boxing or like a pro boxer. I move around the world and of boxing and kickboxing and hear and see these things. So when he was going against Lamont Roach, I was like, people was telling me, yeah, son, Tank gonna drop him. I said, I ain't gonna lie, I think it's gonna be a decision. I told her, I said, I don't think it's gonna make it, because if you won, Lamont Roach had already fought him a few times, like, and he wasn't that far off then, like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, there's no way.
He really won one of those definitive.
I mean, you feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm like, this is pros now, and he got so much more experience. I was like, and then I went to the press conferences too, like in person, to see him, like when he was at Howard, and I seen how Tank was carrying it, and he wasn't carrying it like how he carry everything else. Like,
you fight, you know
yeah,
prepared, and you know when you bluffing. Like,
yeah.
And I feel like Lamont exposed Tank by lasting more than 5 rounds. You know what I'm saying?
But again, we always have this conversation. If you study the sport and, like you said, styles makes fights, you're not surprised by when Tank come up against a real technically sound fighter, because his previous fights. The one toughest one was Cruz to me, but his previous fights, it was all similar styles. So that knockout looks, it looks interesting. Like,
now, and I said that, when we talked about the Lamont Roach fight on the show, I felt like Tank's greatest assets as far as like technical skill is he's a brilliant counterpuncher.
Yes.
He's extremely fast, which Lamont admitted. And then behind all of that is the power. He's got good footwork.
And that nigga can take punches.
Right.
Too.
And he can take a punch. He got a hell of a
Tank.
Yeah.
Tank. He got a hell of a tank.
To a degree.
To a degree.
I ain't gonna lie. It's everything with Tank.
I think Lamont exposed that a little bit.
That's what it's saying. Like, the punches he was taking from previous. Yeah.
He was knocking out.
Tank got a good boxing IQ.
He got
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
I feel like that IQ was the only reason he lasted.
IQ.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, the thing about Lamont Roach that I noticed and studied too, like, he got an excellent boxing IQ too.
That's
what saying,
I feel like that's why he.
I feel like he had a little bit more power.
Lamont won.
Yeah, I feel like
I thought he did win.
I
thought he won. I thought he landed more and all that, but
like really where Lamont showed his IQ to me. And also, conversely, where I felt like Rolly showed his IQ was punching in between the counters, right? Punching in between the counters allows you to neutralize the power. Right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Take away those two assets from this guy, that he's a brilliant counter puncher and a heavy hitter. If you neutralize those, then the fight belongs to you at that point. And that's what Lamont showed. I feel like Rolly showed some of that too.
Yeah.
Because he's an awkward fighter, he was able to counter those lefts.
Nah, for sure.
You neutralize the left, you neutralize his power, and then you knock him down. Here's where you've gotten with Ryan. Not only have you neutralized his greatest assets, but you also shaking his confidence, because this is his fight back to.
Yeah.
And he's aiming to prove that I wasn't on drugs.
Yeah.
That it wasn't that made me special. That wasn't the thing that made me the best guy in the ring that night. I don't know.
I also think he was
never really impressed with. I was never impressed with Garcia for real. Because the thing is with the boxers, IQ. But once you have equal IQ in the ring, it's like with Roach. He can take a punch. He could take a punch better than Tank could take a punch.
I can agree with that, because like looking, I just look at it like this. Like, you understand, we fighters. You can see a nigga neck and understand how. For real. No funny shit like that.
For real.
A nigga can take a punch on that, but sometimes when you got that glove on and a nigga really throw a real strong punch at you, like some niggas can't really take that. And the reason why I say Tank is because every time I seen Tank take a punch, it seemed like the nigga powered up. Like even more. It made him, and his IQ is like, all right, cool.
I ain't gonna lie though.
I never he took punches though, right? So that's why I always was sitting there like with this.
Yeah, but he be finding something.
Because he know he could get through it, and I'm gonna get hit.
Bro, he'll find weaknesses, and the quicker he find that weakness, he'll let it rip. Like if you see, like with Ryan Garcia, when he fought it, he kept throwing the left hook. He kept throwing the left hook, and Tank just seen it coming. You know what I'm saying? Rolly, I think both of them was anxious fighting Tank, so they let off more in them first 2 rounds, thinking they really had to go more than they did.
What you saying right now is exactly why I don't respect Devin.
Why?
Because the whole goddamn world knew that left was coming. It's no way you didn't know that Ryan was gonna throw that left hook on. Everybody be fighting on that
I ain't
level.
gonna-
He think he can take it.
Drugs or no drugs?
It's-
What you mean you can't defend the one punch? You know this nigga.
And
good.
nah,
I got-
if you
If he throw it 10 different ways,
listen,
you know it's coming.
when that shit,
hey,
it's
You
like
think
what I think I know about fighting is sometimes you can see it. I don't care if you see it coming. You probably not physically able enough to you just see it and you just gotta be like, oh, boom.
But this is what I say about
It's like,
boxing is more legs than it is.
But
Yeah.
that's why I respect the art. That's why I love the Shakurs of it or these defensive
yeah,
fighters.
Shakur is way better than people give him
I'm
credit
just
for.
saying.
You with that?
See, sleepy
Hey,
nigga. Hey, hit shit.
Listen,
What you be saying about this, Chad?
Yeah,
80% of fans is casuals.
yeah,
I don't want to see this hit. Don't get hit. Go
agreed.
15 round shit. The shit is
Yeah.
boring.
For me.
I'm not paying $90 to watch this nigga do this for fucking 12 rounds, nigga. Hit somebody, please.
You said,
But he
as
ain't
a
do that in his
casual fan,
last
listen,
fight though. He
Okay,
ain't do that in his last
As a
fight. And people
casual
still
fan,
mad at him.
yeah.
Making me
As a
sweat. I'm
casual
sick of that
fan,
nigga.
yes, I grew up boxing too. So as a person who the sport, the art of it, it takes a skill to that moments when you in
Yes.
the ninth round.
Yeah.
You see the
Tired as
punch
shit.
coming.
Yes.
It's a skill to be able to woof.
You are tired as shit.
It's a skill to keep your hands up that round. Like
You like
if your hands still like this ninth round, ooh.
If your hands still
If your hands still
counters, all
man, look,
Taking martial arts for years, right?
Look.
So I understand the concept of this, right? When you're talking about a good night for a good fighter, right? Under the concept of hit and don't get hit, a good night for him is maybe I won, maybe I lost. I'm gonna go home to my family. Like it's okay, right? A bad night is I take a loss that night, but I go home to my wife and my kids and I'm okay, right?
bad
A bad night for a guy like Tank is maybe concussion protocol and maybe you go to the hospital. So there is a difference in a bad night
I
for
think that's
Shakur.
I think that's a
versus the
bad
Tank.
night for any.
That's a bad night for anybody, but in particular,
Hell nah.
Let's get
a lot
out
of
the ring.
punches.
tell you,
The
man.
good
Right.
night is getting out of the ring,
alive.
able to function.
Outside of concussion protocol.
Man,
For
for
sure.
real.
Because niggas don't understand. Like if you fight, I promise you, like I get all of that. But if you ever been in the ring and had to throw punches and take punches, you understand. Like nigga, you get hit one time, you
It's
could
the
be
pressure
fully
points.
energized
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
probably
get hit.
for sure.
one time and you done.
So, right.
Not
That's-
knows. It
That's
don't
why
take much.
Floyd
to break
they
some of
love
this shit in your
Floyd till
face.
after he was done.
Mm.
And so when
And
you
Floyd-
able to last that long in the sport and you have all your faculties, like I said, Shakur, if he do it at a high level, they gotta love him.
But I think it's
They
more-
love him. But they gotta love him.
I think he entertaining. I ain't gonna lie. I think he entertaining.
You like the art of it.
Anybody who
The
really
art-
been locked in on it, like
I think more. I think
Honestly,
she just want to see blood. She want to be the queen that just go like this.
Yeah.
With his head. That's really.
I'm not paying $90 for this shit.
Yeah.
Listen,
Hey,
don't to me like Floyd is not
Yeah,
like
bro.
maybe Shakur will be Floyd in another 5 years, maybe so. But don't compare that younger to him right now.
I'm not.
I think we need to see him fight. We need to see him fight them people.
Is Floyd could sting you long enough to back you the
But
fuck
it
up? I
took-
don't see that in Shakur
It
fight.
took for him to retire for people to appreciate
I
that.
agree with
Them
that too.
Floyd
Because he was
punches hurt.
before he broke his hand, he was
Yeah,
knocking
before he
niggas
was
out.
having trouble with
So,
his hands, he was
yeah,
knocking
he was
niggas out.
knocking niggas
So
out.
he can still back you the fuck up, even though he didn't necessarily have a
All
problem.
right, but what about this last fight with Shakur? Because this last
You talking
fight,
about with the plumber?
yeah.
But see, the Floyd got the same.
Because hold on. Because somebody a
Same
plumber
thing,
means that they can't be
Before-
good at fighting.
He ain't
Yeah.
fighting nobody.
Because
Yeah,
at some
okay.
point, all of these fighters had to, before they came on, they come up, they had to knock a few people out,
I
right?
completely understand that, but let me tell you something. All right, you're a professional fighter talking about you better than Tank, you better than Lamont, you better than Devin. You don't go no 9-10 rounds with no.
I
plumber.
know some people who
You
ain't
supposed to knock
pros
a plumber
that
the
fight
fuck out.
better
Okay,
than
what you say?
pros.
You supposed to listen. We talking about.
If you know
we
the
talking
world
about
of boxing, like I know, it's
he's
some,
one of the best in the game.
Yeah,
I think- I
You
think-
knocked the
That's on
motherfucking plumber
paper.
out of 5. I don't care what you
Hey,
say.
that's on
I
paper.
think Bud
You
had
feel
that
saying?
skill, though.
No question.
We're not gonna. I'm not.
I mean,
there's no debate there.
I can go debate it because Bud has defense too.
Yeah.
So it's a sweet science with
Yeah.
him as well.
Dog in him is
He's
different.
not gonna just let you.
And he
But-
live
Shakur
for,
got defense.
he live for blood though.
But
Bud
that's
live for
Shakur.
blood.
He's a massive defense
Yeah,
person.
Nah, Bud live for blood.
But it's on the- he has top tier defense along with offense. That's why it makes Bud so good.
He love the doghouse. You feel what I'm saying? That's
and I'm
Bud.
not gonna lie. the other thing about Bud is his ability to adjust really quickly.
Yeah, he's a dog.
And make snap decisions.
Mhm.
So Bud is the kind of fighter. He sees something work against you in the second round, he won't do it again to the seventh.
Yeah.
Like he'll hold on to the things that work just in observing. For me, Shakur, he takes too long to make the adjustments. And I don't love that about him.
I'm not gonna sit here and say he more exciting than Bud or Tank Shakur, but
You could never say that.
he's excited. Like if you're a if you're a boxing fanatic like I am, with the art and technique of
You
it,
enjoy watching the defense.
I'm a casual fan.
I enjoy
Nah.
watching the
80%
defense.
Shakur hitting somebody,
I
blocking,
am
hitting
not-
I
somebody,
love
weaving.
Yeah.
That is like
I
it,
love
man, to
watching
me,
it.
bro. Like,
I'm gonna make a
I'm with
comparison
you,
for you,
bro.
right? I'm gonna make a comparison for you.
yeah.
Shakur is arguably Kendrick, right?
Oh, okay,
Tank is arguably Drake.
okay,
One
yeah.
of these niggas is pushing a couple more units, and that don't mean that they both not fantastic, but there's a difference in the metrics.
But when the
Hey.
smoke clears,
When the smoke
when the
clears,
smoke clears,
when they come together, when they clash, who coming on top?
That's why I'm making this specific
Okay, respect.
comparison,
Respect.
because I'm not taking anything away from Shakur.
Touche.
I know that boy the realest. I ain't taking nothing away from him, but we talking about entertainment.
Okay, touche.
Okay, but let me.
Motherfucker,
Fighters-
entertain me.
But listen,
Entertainment.
Shakur
Sometimes
want
I
these
want that
fights,
real shit, and sometimes I want to.
but Shakur want to fight Tank in them,
That's
and
what
they
I'm
not
saying.
trying to fight him.
If we going like that,
So-
You know what?
Yeah, the
I'm
business
glad
of
you
it
said
can't let
that.
it happen.
I'm glad you said that, because you know what? You know what that brings me to? What LB said about understanding your value. You don't sell Tank tickets, honey bun.
Damn.
When you go
I
into
think
the
that's a
arena,
facade.
those are facts. It might be a facade, but it's the facade of 80% of the people buying the tickets.
Nah.
No, on this one, she's right. The casual fan,
It's
They
casual fans buying tickets. It's people
No.
who don't know
I
shit
get
about
that.
boxing paying.
But that's because he ain't beat. He hasn't beat the man
they
yet.
won't let that
Like
happen.
they won't let it happen.
So this is the thing, right? So maybe the reality, and this is what I'm saying, understand your value. The reality for Shakur is that you're not a ticket seller. It doesn't matter how good you are to the true boxing fans. The motherfuckers paying.
But what
attention.
about
Listen to
Lamont
what I'm
Roach?
saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
What about
Listen
Lamont?
to what I'm saying. The motherfuckers, listen to what I'm saying. The motherfuckers paying $10,000 and $20,000 to sit ringside are not as knowledgeable about the sport. All they want is entertainment. Lamont understood that. So he probably took a little less than he would have to take now just to get the fight. Shakur want to make what Tank is making. You're not going to
I
do
would
that.
go
You need
see
to
that
understand
fight. I would-
that in order to get in there and whoop that boy ass, you might have to take a little less. But you thinking you deserve 40% of the gate when you can never sell that fight without him? It's crazy to me. Nobody want to see you.
Can I
as a
ask you?
casual
Can I
fan.
ask you a question?
Right on that
Can I
part.
ask you a question
Yeah.
though? The poster come out. Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis, right?
For sure.
Are we gonna sit here and act like that wouldn't sell out everywhere? Like we just going?
Yes
But
No.
here's the thing.
Yeah, yes and no.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Ain't Tank selling out, period?
So this,
But
Okay.
what I'm
Now,
saying
listen
is,
to my question.
no,
No,
listen,
no.
You address my question.
he's selling out, period. But what I'm saying is,
I don't want to hear no more.
what I'm saying is that fight would sell pay-per-view.
No, listen.
It would sell
Tank
at
selling
that.
pay-per-view without him.
Yeah, I got
It would
this-
make
I
more.
got you, I got
It would
you.
make more than anything
This
he
is what
already
you said.
had.
This is what
He
you
done
said.
fought everybody but Shakur.
This is
He
what
done
she
fought.
said.
Who's
This is
left?
what she said. In the business of it, Shakur deserves most of that bag too. So when Roach come, I can give him a little bit. He'll be happy with this.
Yeah,
But
and
it's
that's
not
true.
regardless.
That's true.
But if I have to fight you, the money got to get divvied.
And he might
differently.
lose.
No, touche. But the money has to get divvied up differently, right? So that's what makes it different.
No, I get the business side of it, but I'm saying on top of it, Tank knows that he might lose.
But
You know what I'm saying?
But the fan coming in, they expect Roach to do that. So the casual fan coming in, thinking they about to see a knockout, blah blah blah.
But they're coming to see Tank. They didn't show up.
Yeah.
But for
us.
that specific
Roach went
fight,
in and put on the
I'm
show. I
telling
think
you, people coming to see Shakur too.
We are.
That's what I'm saying.
But there's hardcore fans who've been waiting
Yeah.
for
No,
forever
but
to see
listen to what
Shakur
I'm saying.
versus Tank.
Listen to what I'm saying, though, right? Because you're not comprehending what I'm
No,
saying.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying Tank and Lamont Roach went against each other, right?
Right.
Which fight would sell more? You mean to tell me Shakur versus Tank wouldn't sell more tickets than Tank and Roach?
I mean,
Put the business to the side.
That is a fuck no.
Yeah,
You would?
Nobody coming to see that nigga Shakur.
But
You
people-
a hardcore boxing fan, but you know
Everybody knows Shakur though.
and the motherfucking nose.
Yeah, but see, but the
You
casual
niggas don't pay
fans don't
$20,000
expect
for
Tank
the
to knock
fucking
him out.
ringside.
The
Them
casual
shits
fan
don't
don't
matter,
expect.
Hey,
I can't wait. You know what? All I'm gonna say on that is I can't wait till God willing. I hope that fight happen, and I want to have that. I want to have that. I want to have a conversation after
I'm
that.
with you.
I want.
Some future Hall of
But the
Fame.
casual fan just don't see Tank for the knock.
Yeah,
Casual
because
fans pay
Lamont Roach,
$80,000 for
Lamont
Real
Roach
fans
is
pay
this.
They're
$85,000.
not gonna pay that fan to see him to see a fight to go to 12 or especially now, but after the
Yeah.
fight. But before that,
Man,
they wasn't gonna
draw.
pay that to see a potential draw
yeah.
or whatnot. They was coming in for Roach just to see Roach get knocked out. They just knew
Yeah.
was gonna knock him out.
I didn't think that though.
I ain't-
You know what I'm saying?
You don't know, fighters don't count.
Yeah.
You don't count. You can't. You
I
can't.
thought it would go long. And
But I think just because the credibility of people, even though they think
touch the
Shakur is this person, like, long story short, a lot more people know who Shakur Stevenson is than they do Lamont Roach. A lot,
But they
a
still
lot
bored.
they,
they still bored, but that
but he's still
fight,
not selling them.
that
tickets.
fight would sell so much because
Because
either
Tank-
I do
because
think it
either
was
A,
bored.
people
You
can't
gotta
wait.
grow up.
People can't wait.
This shit
People
crazy.
can't wait to see Tank knock him out, which probably won't
Listen to
happen.
what you're saying.
You-
Why are those people there? Again, say it again.
But because they
But
know
see what?
Shakur
But
too.
see what?
It's just like
But
Ryan
see what?
Garcia.
What you just say?
Ryan Garcia was
But
selling
see
tickets
what?
too,
Hey,
but it's not going to happen.
disagree.
That's
It
just
doesn't
marketing.
matter.
That's just
It
marketing.
doesn't matter.
I think
Exactly.
Tank knocking
It's
him
the
out.
marketing that sells
Oh,
the tickets.
But
That's
that
not
marketing
about
would
him,
be
though.
better
He's not
marketing
No.
than Lamont Roach.
He couldn't even do that to Roach. And Shakur's the best defensive fighter in boxing. He's
Right,
superior.
right,
He's
right.
not touching him. So the casual fan is gonna go. They're gonna decide. They're not gonna do the pay per view because they don't expect to see a knockout. So now it's like, it's gonna be one of these long fights. Boy, he ain't gonna really hit. He's
So-
gonna miss.
So basically, for entertainment purposes, Shakur and Tank won't be selling out more than.
And the thing is, what
Not
Floyd,
That fight would be great. I feel like that fight
That's
would
why
be
he
great.
feel like he
Floyd
deserves
talk
most of the money.
shit. Right? That's what sold for Floyd. He used to talk trash and shit. So people used to buy him just because they hated what he was talking
Because
about.
Floyd studied the greats.
I can't wait to see this nigga lose. He talks so much. I want to see him lose. So I'm gonna buy a
People,
fight.
yep. People bought Floyd fight to see him.
Shakur though, he's just now trying to do it, but he coming in the game, he was humble. He wasn't talking.
Yeah.
For real.
He's
So
stepping into that villain era.
he's trying to, yeah.
Which I think is maybe the smartest.
I can't wait till that fight. That's really all I
No
gotta say.
question.
I can't wait
I
till
think
that
Shakur
fight.
could win that fight. But what I'm saying is, people are not buying those tickets. The people who pay the most money for those
They
tickets,
want to see
the 1.5 million views like Tank got with Ryan, people don't pay for that who are casual fans. Those are people who view these as events.
Yeah.
They
These
will
are
that
people who
day.
want to be
Yeah.
seen.
I'm
They
just-
want to go by their bricks and they chrome hearts and be on camera with the chains and all that shit. These are events that people come to. Casual fans watch it. Serious fans watch it from home.
That's a fact.
That's a
Casual
fact.
fans show the fuck up.
Mm,
And those people are not the same people you see during a Shakur fight. He's had enough of those fights where we've seen that audience in the back of a Jiffy Lube for us to know.
I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
If niggas never been to a boxing
they
match,
trying to play with brother. We gonna see. We gonna see.
that shit
We gonna see. I just can't wait till that fight
I have the
happens.
same too,
But I think now, I think
And I hope you in. And I hope you bring me back. I hope
I
you
think
bring me.
now is gonna
we
sell
gonna
out.
gonna do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
That them tickets going to sell.
Because they building up now at this point. But
That's what I'm saying. We not gonna sit here and act like them tickets not going to sell.
Lamont took a hit to Tank took a hit to that fight.
That's because Lamont, no one at this point, like as a casual boxer, no one even knows
He's gonna
Lamont
need-
Roach's name. But
he's gonna
Shakur,
He's gonna
the
need support now,
casual, the casual fan knows who Shakur Stevenson is. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
casual or otherwise, Tank sale.
yeah,
But
for sure.
I got a question.
100%.
Do you think because of this Lamont fight, he's gonna need a Shakur to sell now?
Yeah,
Honestly, I think it helps everybody.
yeah.
That ass. I do. I think like that exposure level helps everybody.
I mean,
But that also,
There's no loss for any other fighter except Tank as a result of that.
Dang.
that's why I say like, Shakur could fight a plumber. You feel me? Because the reality
You
is,
make him look like a plumber at the end of
you
the
feel
day.
what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's fighters out there that really are like that work in construction all day, that could probably beat some of your favorite fighters. Will you ever hear about them? Probably not. But I'm not going to sit here and say they ain't some gym heroes that for real, if you was to spar against them, if Tank or somebody was to spar against them, we're not gonna sit here and say, you know what I'm saying? There's probably a Jaron Ennis, you feel what I'm saying, in a gym that nobody know about that'll really put hands on these people. You know what I'm saying?
So several Jaron Ennis working throughout the Jiffy Lubes of America.
Hey.
And listen, we love and respect you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we respect Josh Padley too. Like we respect Padley. But this is my thing, right?
Yeah.
When you take on the plumber last minute who hasn't been training up to this point, you
Yeah.
gotta give me a show.
So
You
I
gotta make
got a
this
question.
work.
So
That's
I got a
And
question.
him not understanding that is why he's not more popular.
I got a question. So did the thirst for entertainment hurt the sport?
Yes.
About-
Everybody's
Yeah.
geek
But
to
it
see a
is what
knockout.
it is.
Yeah.
It's the same.
She said
like
it
the
is
third-
what it is.
It's the
Jake
same with
Paul
music,
is
though.
about to be.
It's the same
Yes.
for like ready-made
evident.
music destroyed like
Come on.
real hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's the reality of every industry.
Mhm.
The faster you want something, the quicker something comes, like the more watered down something becomes. I mean, the less interesting it
So
comes.
are we gonna get back to
That's facts.
the love for the art? Because the music though,
I think it will.
music is
I think it
starting
will.
coming
You know
back
when I
to the
think that
lyrics.
happens?
Yeah.
You know when I think the love for boxing will come back? When it's less popular. There was a lull in boxing for a long time. There were
There
great
was.
fighters during that lull, but it just wasn't as popular from an entertainment
Man,
perspective.
that's what anything though. Like
That's just how it works. That's really
Yeah.
when it recovers.
anything
as far as
becomes
the
popular.
original formula.
Anything becomes popular is even what you was about to say. Like think about rap music back in the '90s, right? Or whenever it was underground, hip hop, boom bap, all this type of shit. Now rap music is like pop music.
For sure.
Anybody can do this shit.
For sure.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like but it had to go through those trials and tribulations of going like, all right, cool. Because now think about it, anybody can buy a mic
Anybody can do
and
that.
rap.
Yeah.
Anybody can.
Sure.
And the
So,
crazy
like,
thing is, like, it's not just rap anymore, it's production.
it's production.
Right? It's
yeah.
like a very 1, 2, 3. So okay, perfect example. So
Mm.
my boyfriend and I, we watched this show that I can't remember the name of, and I would rather not say the name anyway. But it's on Apple Plus, and it's about
Lord.
this hedge fund millionaire who loses his job in a coup with his office and ends up like robbing houses in order to like survive at that point, right? His idea
Were
is
they-
survival.
Oh, I guess you can't say his name.
Yeah, like,
Okay. I ain't going.
It's
I ain't
John
going.
Hamm, right? The dude
Okay.
from, Made Men.
Okay.
All right, bet.
So what happens in the show is like hedge fund millionaire loses his job, his wife cheats on him with his best friend. He got to continue paying for the house, continue paying for the kids' private school, continue paying
Lord.
for the tennis lessons, paying for his own house, the Maserati car payments, the wife car payments, right? He loses all of it in the divorce. So he started robbing his rich neighbors, selling, you know what I'm saying, paddocks and
Anything a real guy would do.
Audemars in order to like survive through this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, so his kid, right, his 15-year-old son, he's a millionaire child, right,
Yeah.
living in this exclusive gated neighborhood, going to a private school. The last episode that we watched, the kid is like producing on his own, right? Laptop in the bedroom.
Mm.
I listened to the beat that this little nigga made. I said, oh, this is everything that 40 made.
Mm.
It's 1, 2, 3 now. They could make up some shit for a white television show about a millionaire stealing paintings to survive. And it's just like
Hey.
that's how
I mean,
easy this shit has become. And
Yeah.
also that's how accessible it is in a show that ain't even got no black people.
Yeah. It's like everything is watered down now.
I got no argument with that. I'm really with you on that. I agree with that. Like
everything
you had your notes for that one. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Look at anything like what you were saying about boxing with Jake Paul. Just anything. If it make money, it makes sense. If it don't,
Mhm.
then it don't make sense.
Facts.
Then that's
And
I can't
that's what
believe people
gets-
think
and
Mike
that's what
Tyson
gets
was
the
gonna
push.
be Jake Paul. I couldn't believe that. People really thought Mike
That was
Tyson was
money
gonna
grab.
knock out Jake Paul.
money grab.
Yeah,
I mean, no, that see, all right,
I think the capability was
that was good. He wasn't supposed to in the contract.
Absolutely
yeah,
not.
he wasn't supposed to.
I think he really could have.
Yeah.
And Mike
When I
Tyson.
look
He was biting his hand not to.
He was holding some punches.
Mm.
That's when I knew, like, oh no, like he could probably knock this nigga out.
Yeah, he was knocking him out, bro.
Like,
After the first round, they told him, chill out, Mike.
Yeah,
Chill out.
yeah, I felt like they made him hold some punches. I don't think he could have done it after the first round.
You should have known that when they showed his ass on the camera. When they opened it.
But that's Mike fighting a plumber. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my point. Like,
Yeah.
like I think Mike could have knocked that plumber out on accident.
Yeah.
But I
I
don't
think he
think
could've
Nah,
fucking fell into a knockout
I
in
don't
the
think
first
that.
round.
I don't think that.
You don't think so? I felt like I saw Mike hold a couple of punches.
Oh, he
Nah, I think
Yeah.
people just believe into the legend of Mike Tyson, which is a great legend. I'm not gonna sit here and lie.
All her legends.
But a man over the age of 60 fighting a man that's like in his prime, like
It's different.
Nah,
that's
But
trained.
in the first round,
That-
He would've got him
That's
out there.
training. Yeah, every fighter dangerous in the first round.
Yeah.
Too. I ain't gonna sit here and lie and
even
say
at
that.
55, that's my point.
Yeah.
Hell,
That's my
fuck you,
But-
man.
That's my only.
I don't know.
I think Mike Tyson's still dangerous in fucking the first round. I would.
To the average man,
Yeah.
yeah, he could knock the average man clean out. But anybody who been training and is in that type of shape is going to take a little bit
You
more
You think
effort
Jake is above average?
than the average man. Yeah, you don't think so?
Yeah, I think Tank. I think Jake.
That heavyweight boxing a little different, bro.
Yeah,
Like the heavyweight's a
he
little
can do
different.
things. He can,
Like,
but
you want to know who I really think can fight though? Got knockout power though, for real. Like it's like Deontay Wilder for real. Like to me, Deontay Wilder got knockout power, but he got no tech. You feel what I'm saying?
I think he's slipping fell into a career.
But you see what I'm saying? If we being honest, Jake Paul got a far better technique than Deontay Wilder. If we being honest, so if we gonna sit here and say he not better than the average man or fighter, he a little up there. You feel? I'm not gonna sit here and say he the greatest heavyweight out there. Nah, I ain't gonna say. You say
I
I feel like he's such a fucking joke, but I feel you though. Like, I feel.
everything's a
Jake
joke.
Paul
A lot of things are a joke these days. These days, like everything a cash grab. So I don't know. I don't know,
You right.
but
You right. This is my body.
now 10 years ago, like the Tyson that fought against Roy Jones,
Oh,
that
that's
that
right.
fighter,
Yeah,
that he might have buckled Jake Paul then. Like 10 years ago, yeah, there's the same fighter that, yeah, but in recent years, nah, he just
Yeah.
father time, bruh. It's just he just can't. It's only yeah. Again, Tyson fighting a regular guy on the street, knock him out. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who got some level of skill or training or the money to really lock in for some weeks or months or whatever and really train. Yeah, I mean, Jake Paul been doing that at this point for some years.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So, and he got millions of dollars to really invest and really lock in. So he can grow way faster
took
than
it
the
serious.
average. You know what I'm saying?
He took it serious.
So I don't
would give him-
think Tyson, like, as much respect as I got to Tyson, there's just no way he could. I mean, there is a way. I lied. Yes, there is a way. But I feel like Jake Paul is skilled enough at this point to know, like, nigga, don't be trying no extra stuff in round 1 and 2 or 3.
That's my point. That's
You know
my
what I'm saying? Could he knock him out? Yes, but any boxer with any level of skill or boxer IQ would, like, you just got to be an idiot to really try slugfest with Tyson in the first round. Like anybody with any type of boxing IQ, you got to really have your pride hurt to really try to take Tyson out in that first round. Like, that's just OC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's just how I think about it. But
Fair enough.
All right. Can I
yeah, go ahead.
switch now?
Yeah.
so
This segment is called Flip the Script, right? So it's like I got a couple of questions for my artist right next to me.
all right.
All right, y'all ready?
Yep.
All right. Would you rather blow up in a different subgenre that like pop or something like that, right? Than the one you love because the algorithm randomly pushed your experimental, track, or stay committed to your preferred style, knowing it might not never really break through.
might is a big word, but
See?
yeah, I shit as an artist, like
That's what I did. So I ain't got nothing to say.
I was about to say, like, I had to say,
No comment.
I feel like staying true to your art is more important because, like what she said earlier about Kendrick and Drake, like it goes back to the foundation. You know what I mean? Like, and if you true to yourself and you know what the fuck you do, I'd rather just hold it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'm still building my community. And niggas got it fucked up. As an artist, you don't gotta be a big ass artist.
Yeah, you know.
But to be successful in music.
That's
You know
facts.
what I'm saying? Because we got if you know, like, look at Currency. Look at you know what I'm saying? Like, look at Larry Jones, the Devin the Dudes. I don't even know if y'all know who that is. LaRussell,
yeah. Yep.
Really making money off of their own, and they doing what they want to do, not what they have to do. And that's the difference. You feel me?
For me, I think you should do that. People as people, we should do that. And when I say I did what I did, I think it's different for me because I was never necessarily tied down to one genre of music. I was always dabbling in something. Like, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I grew up like listening to NSYNC, country music, mom playing country music in the car. You know, all that I did. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, I heard it wasn't like I got a nice, I had a well-rounded, you know what I'm saying, background in music. You know what I'm saying? Get in the car, my mother playing country. She might play some Mark Anthony or something. You know what I'm saying? My wife from Honduras, you know what I'm saying? We might be playing salsa, reggaeton. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I be having a lot of melting pot. And then growing up, even if I listen to rap, like I told you, on the weekends, we had the family functions, what they playing, all the West African music, you know what I'm saying? So I got to grow up like a lot around a lot of genres. So I was never really tied down to one. So I was, again, just having fun with a bunch of things. People were like, you try this? Yeah, let's try it. Let's have fun. I never was really, you know what I'm saying, tied down to one idea. But I do have some favorites. I won't lie. But, you know what I'm saying, Afro Beats just happens to be one of them. I just never thought that I would be a top Afro artist until, like, you know, the wife was like, yeah, you should. You know, my dad's like, yeah, you why you don't try? Yeah, I was like, you know what? Yeah. I live in that, so let me try. And then when it popped, I was like, and people was like, yeah, you putting on for Sierra Leone. I was like, yeah, why haven't I been doing this my whole life? I'm Sierra Leone. Like, it just clicked for me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Okay. Would you rather spend 6 months touring small venues that barely cover your costs, but build a dedicated following in each city, or focus on your online presence exclusively for a year to grow bigger before ever performing live?
Damn. So you saying you on tour, you just online, just hustling, doing no shows.
You know, online, no shows. You just for a year, just growing an online presence before you perform.
But let's say that online presence get you 100,000 followers in a year.
That's cool.
I take the latter.
I was about to say I hit the road, and the reason why ain't nothing but that's the best way for you to sell records. And niggas don't get that. Like, touch the people, go to these cities. Like, your algorithm online, you can still wherever you cracking that online, you can go to them same cities in real life and touch those people, and they will buy more than just your music. Now they buying into your lifestyle, they buying into seeing who you are as a person, and now you creating a lifelong fan instead of those microwave fans. You feel me? So
that's a fact.
I'd rather touch the road. I ain't gonna lie. And then that's more fun too, because then you still learning. You learning how to hustle on the road. You learning what you're capable of doing, and you really getting to see the real effect. Ain't nothing better than a real human interview. I feel like I'd rather do that.
Okay.
I think you gotta do both. You really gotta do both. You can't do one without the other. Like, I really feel like, because I feel like if you really got your team structure, you should be on tour, filming how you're on tour, and putting it online. And you're gonna gain more followers just off the simple fact that, like, oh, he was in Albuquerque or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you just got to do both. Like, if anything you know about artistry and stuff, especially like if you're really trying to grow, you cannot do one without the other. Like, you just can't. Like,
and if you're smart, you'll bip it up. Like, you exaggerate what you're doing on the road and make niggas want to buy into coming into your show.
Yeah,
online. This nigga doing a show in fucking Texas.
Yeah.
Oh shit, he must be moving. He in Europe. Oh, he must be moving. You can be at a 5, 10 people can be at your venue, but just the fact that your name on a building somewhere else, perception is different. Like, as artists, niggas need to know that. You got to be a master of perception too. Like, the world don't understand how hard it is for you to tour. But if you got to go somewhere else, that means you showing movement.
Because you're going to take that first tour, like you talking about, you're going to take a loss. But what I say earlier, you better learn how to make it into a W. So if you going on tour like that, you better be filming it and making it like as big as you possibly can, because you never know. Sometimes you get, like you say, you get more popping just from doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Last question. All right. Would you rather have complete ownership of your music that's difficult to market, or give up 75% of something that's guaranteed to connect with listeners immediately?
That's a double-edged sword. Because I ain't gonna lie. You said if it's not marketable, but I keep ownership.
That's just difficult to market.
It's difficult. All right, shit, you smart. You can find a market for anything.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like,
to a well.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I ain't gonna lie though. Like, if you smart, if you a hustler, like I don't think I would give up 75%. But at the same time, it depends on what it is that we doing. What's the end goal? What do I want? I say this all the time. A good negotiation is when everybody feel like they finessed. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you know you did good business. And at the end of the day, no
Hey,
funny shit.
yeah, I know. I ain't never heard that one. That's a good one. I'm gonna tell you
So it's
that.
like, if I'm about to get 25% of $2 billion, of course, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And if it's all something that I did in my sleep, basically, I can do it again. All right, cool. That's there. But at the same time, like if I believe in something and I know I know this ownership is important, you know what I'm saying? I know what this value is, knowing my worth, then I'll probably hold out, you know what I mean? But I'm not against giving a percentage for. I do that every day. We ain't gonna argue. I ain't gonna be beefing over. I ain't gonna be mad over money that don't even fucking exist. So listen, man. And then on top of that, I'd rather have percentage and ownership of something that's moving than nothing that's
Yeah.
garage.
I'm saying, yeah, 0% is. I mean, 25% is zero is zero. So you can't.
So it's a double-edged sword. It's like it's how you want to play it. If you hustler, you a hustler. You gonna make that money work.
I think it's a numbers game. You got to do both. Like I always say, you got to do your own stuff that you really care and passionate about, and do that other stuff for real. Because at the end of the day, if you could create, it's a numbers game. If you could create the machine that's just paying you out all of these royalties, all it does is leave you more time to do the music you really actually do care to do. You know what I'm saying?
Like
So
my biggest song, he was talking about, one of my biggest songs to this day is like a song that when I made it, I really didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like I really cared about it so much. And then like when we did the deal and everything, I had to understand like, all right, cool, bro. Like if we would have did this shit by ourselves, you wouldn't even be in this position you in. So it's like you, as an artist, sometimes you got to learn to let go. Like I get it. We love our art. We love what we create, but sometimes you got to detach yourself from that and become a consumer or a customer or an owner. You got to realize which one you got to, if I want to sell this, if I'm going to do this, how can I do it? And I understood this, like most of my work that I got with labels is not my best work. I just learned how to finesse and understand, like, fuck it. Y'all want this? All right, this is what this is going to get me. And then when I'm dead with y'all, I'm going to release and show what I am and who I am. And that's why I feel like it's important to understand, like, you got to play the game smart. Like, we can say we can be independent all we want to. We want to work with labels and all that. It's just about what works for you as an artist. What it is that you want. You can be an independent artist, but if you got that money to do that, do it. If you don't got that money to do it and you need help and you need backing, sign. But know what you signing.
Amen. And on that note, we're going to get out of here today, man. This was like probably one of my favorites. Truly, like, I'm so thankful to you. I'm so LB, man, for y'all.
It was lit.
Really, like, not for real. I think like I get so much flack in the comments from other artists because I do encourage them to have a certain type of team around them, to understand paperwork, to understand representation, to understand their value, to understand the product behind, you know, the commercial, which is the music. Like, and I feel like, you know, having two guys like yourselves come on here and really be able to explain that from a position of success, I think is important. Sure. And I think this was, you know, one of the more valuable episodes to me as far as being able to like really give game, because y'all in a situation a lot of motherfuckers want to be in. So I'm so thankful to you guys. I'm
just figuring that out.
I'm telling you, and that's the thing, right? These conversations are valuable because, like, when you do figure it out, each one teach one.
Yeah. Nah, for sure.
Right now, it's just power.
Power, man. But I'm gonna let y'all do y'all outros. You know, give them your social media one more time. I'm sure everybody know, but you know, give out your social media one more time. We can go around the circle, man, and we can get up out of here, Chaz.
Chaz DL, like, share, and subscribe, man. It was a great conversation, man. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, Chaz DL, CHASDELLE on every platform, and then go get that bird by the door. Hit me up. Go get it.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Dreamy Alpha. It's like, but you know, I go by the name of Dreamy Alpha. Y'all can follow me on all social media platforms at Dreamy Alpha. That's DREEMY. You know what I'm saying? Alpha on all social media platforms. And yeah, I enjoy. I don't even get invited out to a lot of podcasts, John. So hey, thank y'all for bringing me on and having a good convo. It's been real. It's been real. You're great. You're great. Mia, she's great. You guys are good. You guys are good at what you do. We're good at what we do, but they're good at what, right? LB, yeah, a lot of love. Let's get, and it's game. That's all I gotta say.
LB199X, man. LB1990X. That's the name of the brand. Y'all can follow me at social media on Instagram, Spotify, wherever, Hypebeast, wherever. LB199X. I just dropped a project called Rent's Due. It's the first of the month. So you know what I mean? It's time to collect that rent. You know what I mean? So yeah, just stream my project. Come around Glen Eye. Come show me some love, man. You feel me?
For sure. And I am, of course, your host at Mia Was Here, 5_. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube. And make sure you follow us everywhere at You Weren't, WERENT, their podcast. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all, man. And we'll see you next week.
Gang, gang.